Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? Hey, welcome to Wednesday, April 3rd, 2025. Glad everybody's here. I absolutely appreciate it. For those that don't know, my name is Rick, and this is the pre-market charts and target video. I'm glad that everybody's here, so thank you very much. Hey, couple of little reminders that I want to throw out there is make sure you read that little disclosure there, just in case you need to. I also want to remind everybody that today, members of Hit and Run Candlesticks Right Way Options and BYOB, whoops, let me turn that sound off, that music off here. Let's get that off. Here we go. There we go. Today, starting at noon Eastern, noon Eastern, we have our members e-learning. You're more than welcome to join us. You just simply have to have a trial, and that's $7 for either Hit Run Candlesticks, BYOB trading, or Right Way options. So all members, let's meet up in the combo room and have a great day with the members e-learning. All righty. Let's do this. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Let's take this thing off. And there we go. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Hello, Dave. Hey, Gold to Mine, Jim, Sunny. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Doug. Good morning, Joe, Chip, Bill. Hey, I just did a little pre-market thing on the social media side. And I want to remind everybody here again that starting today at noon Eastern, we have our members e-learning. So Doug kicks it off, then John comes on, then I'll come on in the combo room. So let's meet up at 7. Let's meet up at noon Eastern time. And all membership services are welcome, whether you're a trial or not. You're considered a member. So come on over. Make sure you jump over there and we'll chat today. All right. Hey, Julie. Good morning. Devinder, Dave. How are you? Good morning, everybody. Let me go over here. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Well, how are we feeling today? You got to laugh about it because if you don't, you just cry. And I think it's better to laugh than cry. I really do. So just for those that can't believe what's going on, just take a breath. It's real. For those that were kind of beat up overnight, maybe it's a good time to be in cash. I don't want to pick on you or anything, but cash is an option. Cash is an option. And those that made some money overnight here, congratulations. Way to go. Way to go. And there's going to be some, believe me. Hey, I got a couple emails last night, and it's like from different people, but they were asking if it's time to buy. NVDA and PLTR were right on the top of the list. So my answer to PLTR is no, I don't think it's time to buy. One, I personally don't believe bottom picking is a way to trade. Now, we'll move past that. That's my own personal thoughts. But when you buy, you want to buy when you see it moving up. I mean, like right now, all I see is NVIDIA moving down. That's all I see. Here, let's do this. Let me take this and that. We've got a clear trend based on the trend indicator, which I use that. Now, maybe you don't use that. And if you want to draw lines, there you go. We still have a trend to the downside. And then we have a move down, and then all we have is a bear flag. One of the emails that I received, it said, it looks like we're forming a bottom here. No, we're not. And will it be time to buy at some point? Yes. But when it does, we're going to look for candles that look like this, not down and sideways. We want to look for the price action that's up and sideways. That's what we want to look for. And that will keep you from picking that doggone bottom right here. This line down here is the 500 period moving average. And do you see a possible path to that? I sure do. So that's what I see the path down to, unless this changes. So we need to let that change. PLTR was another one. Is it time to buy PLTR? That was, well, does it look like it's time? And somebody had the argument that here, let me do it this way, that we have a low and we have a higher low. We do. But if you're going to play that game, then what you're missing is the high. So we have a low, high, higher low. You're right. At this point, we have a higher low. But until it takes out that higher high, you still have a bearish chart. So the answer for me is no, that's not a place to be buying until we see buyers stepping in. Okay. So we need to see those buyers stepping in. Another thing too that really, 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 really helps, it really does, is to be patient and allow those dots to turn green. And if you don't have those dots, don't sweat it. All this is a moving average. That is it. No whistles and bells, no tricks, just a simple moving average. We've just figured out a way in TC 2000 to make it red and green, depending on where price is. So outside of that, it's just a moving average. So when we see price above the T line and the dots are green, that's the time to start looking for that trade rather than, being long underneath. Okay. So anyway, I want to point those out because I did get a couple emails on those. So if you do have questions on some charts, you can email me. And I'll, see about doing this on the following day. Okay. Hello, Devinder. Target for the SPY and the Qs. Well, let's take a look. Here's the SPY. Next target down I see is about 536.60 here. You can come over here and you see where price has kind of found a little shelf right in there. And I mean, I could put a line right here too. And I could argue that area. So in that area right there is what I see to the downside. Again, we don't want to be long the SPY until it gives us a reason to be long. Okay. And then here's the 500 period moving average right down here. And then you were looking at the Qs. There's the Qs. Again, here we are still in this downtrend, right? We're still in this downtrend, and the downtrend will continue until it no longer is a downtrend. And what would change that? Well, if the trend started to move over those dots and turn them green, that would change it. But right now, it still looks like we have weakness, and right here is that 500 period moving average. Now, we could come in here, and you can see this price action right over here on the left. That would make a pretty good target, maybe a little bounce area right in there, right there. So yesterday, I mentioned, because some people saw the video yesterday, and they noticed that I put stochastic up here. I put stochastics in here only to demonstrate that on the weekly, you can see how oversold we are, and we may very well be looking to bounce at some point. But being oversold doesn't mean you're looking to bounce. It's a condition. A condition is not a reason to buy. You need the reason to buy. The reason to buy is about price. So here we are. We're in this oversold area on the weekly. It so happens we're getting down there on the daily. I don't much care about it on the daily, but we're getting down there. So that in itself is not a reason, just a condition. What we need to wait for is that bullish activity. And if we're looking at this chart right now, we need to create a low, a high, higher low, and higher high. By the way, this little line right here, this is the 50% retracement from about where we are right now to this high. And as far as I'm concerned, this market is nothing but a great big fat turd until we get past 498, 499 right up here. It's just nothing but a big fat turd. And that is just a relief rally. And there's nothing that would make me think in the current, I don't know how to say this with any class or couth. you just fill in the blanks, okay? If we start moving up, I would be scared to death that something would happen and drive us back down, okay? Now, I will say this, at some point, this market will return back to a very bullish state and it will start moving up. I just know that with every fiber in my body, that it will do that. Okay, I'll share my reasons in the trading room after we close this up. All right, so let's look at some charts. Let's look at OM. What is that? OMG. Look at OM. That's not it, is it? OMG. There. Maybe I. OMC. That could be why. OMC. There you go. So OMC here is a nice downtrend. You can clearly see that, right? And then now we're moving down lower. Well, what we've got here, I mean, we're getting this pre-market thing, so we're going to open up a little low. When I first saw this, it was a nice 3/8 trap short setting in here that failed up into this area. Up into this area is going to be the 50-period moving average, the trend indicator. We failed, and then we're holding close, tight to the T-line, a 3/8 trap short. And right now, this still looks like it's going to move down. And then let's talk about Merck. I know that a few people in the room are short Merck. I was short Merck, and I got out of Merck, the short, made some good money. Here it is moving up, and what we're watching for it here at Hit Run Candlesticks is maybe for this thing to move up and start to roll over again. So we're going to be shopping for that short in there. Well, what if it doesn't go short? Well, to start with, we don't want to be a bottom picker. That's just, it just does not work to be a bottom picker. You know, you hit one, you hit two, and you think you're the man, you think you've got this trading business wound up and you're just going to tackle it. You're doing a great job. Bottom picking as a rule will take your account away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to consider this a short until it's not. And what would make it? Real simple. Price start moving over those dots, turn it green. That's also going to move it over the 50-period moving average. And then we'll start looking at targets to the upside. That would be like the dotted deuce here, the modified 200 or the 200-period moving average, or these tops right up here around $100. Okay, so we'll keep our eyes on Merck. Rio, take a look at Rio. Rio's moving down. This is still short as well. So here we fail up here around the 200. Here we fail the trend indicator and the 50-period moving average. We run down, and you see how we're putting that bear flag in there right now. So right now, Rio is still looking short. Go to the weekly chart. There's the 500-period moving average on the weekly chart right there. And that's what I would use at this point for a target on that, okay? I forgot to do something. We need to go back and look at IYT, the transports. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. The market cannot go up without the transports or SMH, and neither one of those look like they're great right now. SMH, however, is on that 500-period moving average. If you look at the daily, we are oversold. If you look at the weekly, we are oversold. So there are several conditions. We're oversold condition. We're at the 500-period moving average condition. So what do we need to be bullish? We need patience to start with. So what we need is some bullish activity in here, and we need that follow through. Since this is a brand new low, we've got the low in. We need to make a high. We need some sort of rest, pullback, something that can give us a higher low, and then take out, if this is the high, take out that high. And then from there, we now have a trend we can work with. So patience, and don't be a bottom picker. It's likely to kill you. The only other way that we could move up without those two is with the power of the Qs, the power of tech. Does anybody see tech? see anyone see tech moving up right now? No. So this is the one way that the market could move without SMH or IYT. And I don't see that happening. In fact, we already talked about it. I see the Qs 448 and then down here at the 500 at about 432. Okay. A couple more shorts, A, B, and B. Is that right? Yeah. Airbnb. Here's another one where, let me find my pin here. Here we fail up here. We come down, make that nice little move to the right. This is not bullish, by the way. This is bearish. So we're going to look for more downside unless the bulls come in and give us a candle, which will require patience before we go long because it's still in an overall downtrend. Bros. There's been a lot of traders love bros. Not so much anymore, unless you're short, of course. So here's bros failing the 50-period moving average. You can see the trend down. Let's change this to red. There we go. You can see the move down, and now you see this sideways move. So it's down, rest, more down is what I'm looking for. And when we've got the dotted deuce and the 200-period moving average below, those become big time targets. All right, so we'll just put a couple lines right here like that. And if you go back and look, if you want to fine tune it with price, you can. Sometimes I do that if it needs it, but if not, there's the trade, and follow price from this point and follow your rules. IBM has been a favorite of a lot of traders. IBM has been, look at that. It has been working. But IBM right now is putting in a blue ice failure here. Blue ice failure. So here we are down, and then we rested with a little bit up, and now we're moving down again. This is actually, if we can go like this, and what they call a dreaded bearish H pattern right in there. Again, the targets. I'm gonna look at that right there without question in my mind. Certainly might go in here and fine tune it with some price action. For instance, we're going to have to get below those lows and below those highs before we can get down to these moving averages here. PDD. There we go. Another short starting to take place here, breaking down through that 500-period moving average. So big move down, a little bit of consolidation. We'll look at that weekly chart once. No need to do that. So we'll come over here and just put your line right here and just simply drag it down. And where you see multiple touches over here on the left, that becomes a target. Super simple. Multiple touches. We'll go right in there. Right. Oh, hey, Doug. Yeah, I hope they stay away from my area too. But yeah, there's tornado warnings around here, and lots of rain coming. Tons of it. Yeah. So I don't know if anyone has any charts you want to take a look at. We can certainly do. If not, I'll pack this up and we'll see everybody when the market opens up. Let me turn that scanner back on, see if something has popped up here. Oh yeah, here's PLTR showing up on the scanner, moving down here. PLTR. That's actually a pretty nice short right here. PLTR. I think I better write that down. PLTR. All right. Hey, and I do want to remind everybody that cash is a position. Be patient. Wait this out. This too will pass. Okay. This too will pass. All right. You guys take care. Thank you very much. We'll see you at the bottom of the hour when the market opens up. Later.